after 2 o'clock right here on Radio Pulpit. A big thank you to Pastor Pheeha and of course, a big thank you to Pastor Mantshas as well, talking about the intimate moments, marriage enrichment camp taking place on the 16th to the 18th of April. Sure, was absolutely lovely. Thoroughly enjoyed that. We get straight into our chat with Mantsha Pheeha and right here on the show. I was tempted to say pastor because I was talking about pastors, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Of course, she is a pastor, but we're going to have a t-shirt this afternoon. T-shirt.
Hi, Mpo, and what is it? Good afternoon to the listeners. I was like, what time of the day is it now?
You are forgiven. There's not much going on. You are forgiven. You are allowed. Okay? I'm sure we'll get back to the thing of things a couple of weeks later, but for now, you are forgiven.
Thank you.
Lovely. What are we talking about this afternoon?
So this afternoon, I want to talk about a topic that is very close to my heart. What if your career is not working out? You know, every time when we're having these conversations, we are assuming that everyone's career is working out. But what if yours is not working out? Then what do you do? Like, you can hear all these wonderful things that you can apply in your life. Yeah. But what if even after applying everything, it doesn't work out? What do you do?
And at times, some people may think that your career is working out, but from where you're standing, it is actually not.
Do you know what's happening in my life?
No, but I just mean where everyone around you thinks your career is working out.
That's what I'm saying. You're speaking like you know what's going on. If this is a prophetic moment, you must tell me.
I does, but I know with a level I don't know, you know, I don't want to say, okay, yeah, I don't want to give away a lot, but you know what I mean? It happens that everyone thinks, oh my, you're really striving in your career, but you're sitting and you're thinking, you know what? You know, so I can wait to hear what you have to unpack for us.
So I didn't really include my story in the book. So when I was writing Level Up, it was focused more on people's careers. And what I did was I just came in as the author who was reflecting on what the contributors were saying. Then when I was concluding the book, I realized that in interviewing the people, listening to their stories, it also forced me not to only interact with their stories as a writer, but to interact with their stories as someone who also has a career. And like you are saying, Mpo, I went through my entire professional life feeling like I wish I was doing better. I wish man things. Have you ever looked at other people and it just looked like their things are working out?
Sure.
And it just looks like, do you know, people will tell you something like, yeah, the other day I was with my boss and he wanted someone on a project and then I was there and then he said, oh, are you available? Then I said, I'm available. This is why today I'm the managing director. You're like, things like this don't happen to me. So
you want a little bit of that in your life as well.
Yes. So I actually went throughout my professional career feeling like I am not doing well. But as I was reflecting on the different people that were contributing, and I mean, I'll take it from the top. Leshonolo was speaking last week about running a parallel career. And as I was reflecting on my chemical engineering, management consulting, project management career, I realized that throughout, from as far back as 1995, I always had a preaching and a speaking parallel career. And sometimes what happens when for some people, they are fortunate that your passion is music, you are also a full-time musician. So you get all your money from music. But for most of us, you may find that your passion is speaking, but speaking does not make enough money. So you have to stay and be a doctor. You know, if you look at someone like Dr. Tumi, who I think right now, music is his number one profession. But I'm sure there was a time when he had to be as much a doctor as he was a musician, because the music had not reached that level where it can take care of him. So the first thing that I realized when I was reading Pastor Lihonolo's story was that all the time I was running a parallel career. And I need to celebrate the wins that I had in my speaking career as much as I'm celebrating the wins that I'm having in my professional career. And because in a way, it's as if I've split my focus between the two things. I have to accept that certain things I may not be able to achieve like a person who is only focused on their one career, on a person who is only an engineer and nothing else. So for many of us, we need to be able to accept that. The first thing is, are you not willing to give up the second thing that you are doing? If you are not willing to give it up, then be okay with the fact that you have to take some of the time from the engineering profession and borrow that time to the speaking profession, because otherwise, if you don't give the speaking profession time, you will go to events and you have not prepared yourself. So that's the first thing that I want us to be able to recognize and to be able to accept that some people, I was watching a documentary at Tiger Woods recently, and I realized that from the time that Tiger Woods was a baby, his life was about golf, nothing else. And I was sitting here and saying, I wonder how my life would have worked out if my life had been about speaking from day one. But for many of us in the world, we don't have that luxury for most of us. So there's no point in wishing, I wish I had started speaking when I was 2 years old. No, there was not, I didn't have access to anything that said to me a person can be a professional speaker. So the second thing that I just want us to understand, and I think I may have shared this with you at a certain time, is the fact that this book, Acres of Diamond, I think I've spoken to you about it. It basically talks about a man who wanted to find gold. And because he wanted to find gold, he used to have a farm, and he felt like, no, man, I should be somewhere, man, exploring for gold. So it was during the olden times when women did not work. So he took his wife and his children and asked a neighbor to take care of them and to take care of his farm. And then he went away in search of gold. And when he was out there searching for gold, things didn't go well with his farm until his farm was sold to another person. Then this new person who bought his farm, he realized that there was a stream, and in the stream there was water in the stream, and they had put a log that stopped some black substance that was coming from the stream, so that the cows can be able to drink from the stream without drinking the black substance. So the new farmer checked out, Hyman, what is this black substance that is coming out from here? Then he realized that actually the black substance that they had put that piece of log to stop it, it was oil. So this man, in his own farm, he had oil, but because he was so focused on, I need to find gold so that I can be successful, I'm going to go out into the world looking for gold. What he did not know, is that he had oil in his own backyard. Actually, that oil was a nuisance to him, man. It was stopping the water that he wanted the cows to drink. So the new owner explored the oil. They found that it was a very large amount of oil, and he lived off of that oil for a very, very, very long time. That one who was searching for oil, for gold, was still searching for gold. He never found it until he died. So it is the same with us. When you are an engineer, you always think BCom graduates have it better. When you are a BCom graduate, you think doctors have it better. When you are a doctor, you think entrepreneurs, people who are running their own businesses, have it better. So instead of focusing on the oil in your own farm, you are constantly wishing for the gold that is in a place that you don't know of. So that was me, for a very long time. I felt like my job was beneath me. I felt like, no, man, I should be doing great things somewhere, but I didn't know what those great things were. So I was never 150% present in my job because I was always wishing for something better. And when other people were telling me what's happening in their jobs, it always sounded nicer than what was happening in my own job. They always sounded like they work for better companies, better bosses, better pays, better everything. And what I had just looked mediocre and it looked small. And because that was the view that I had on my job at the time, I did not apply myself fully. So in English, there's another saying that goes, better is a bird in hand than the one that is in the field. So when right now you are holding something, you've caught something, you've caught a bird in your hand. And if you come from that place, now we were eating birds when we were growing up. So that bird that you have in your hand, don't risk losing it because of two birds that are in the field. Rather, secure the bird that you have. And once you have secured the bird that you have, only afterwards can you go for the two birds that are in the field. So many of us, because we wish for more, we don't take care of what we have. And this is a biblical principle, because the Bible says, if you are faithful with the little, God will trust you with more. The people who get promoted are faithful with the little, then they are entrusted with bigger responsibilities. You are faithful with delivering a small deal. They give you a small contract, you are not making a lot of money, but you are faithful. Maybe let me say I'm having a bridal shower. I hire your decor, I hire your food. You don't say, for 50 people only or for 20 people only, there are so few. You get there and you deliver excellently. When I have the Lobola celebration, I invite you. When I have the big white wedding at the stadium, I invite you. But why am I inviting you? Because of how you showed up at the bridal shower. For the bridal shower, you may not have made a lot of money, but your delivery at that small scale opened the door for the traditional wedding, opened the door for the big wedding. So it's the same thing. In your career, I don't disagree that some of us are working jobs that are beneath us. I'm not saying just trust God that the job is something that it is not. I know that some of us, you are qualified, but you are a receptionist, or you are qualified, but you are a secretary. You are qualified, but they don't hear your ideas. The main thing that you have to do, make sure that you deliver excellently where you are. And when you deliver excellently where you are, that delivery is going to open the door for the next thing that you want for your life. So, and that is something that I learned from Nomfundo, because Nomfundo's story, if you read her story, I think I've shared it before, it's just a series of a person always raising her hand to do more. The more she raised her hand, the more opportunities opened. The more she raised her hand, the more opportunities opened. So you and I, we can sit back and say she's lucky. No, she's not lucky. She's always looking for opportunities to do more. So this thing of acres of diamond is very important. Don't allow your desire for a better place to take away from you the good that is where you are. It may not be gold, but oil is still as valuable. So your job, the job that you have right now, may not be your ultimate job, but if you show up well, it's going to open doors for something else. Yes. So and then as I was concluding in the book, I asked myself, what is my greatest takeaway from this book? Because when I started writing the book, I didn't know what the book was going to come out with. I had an idea, because remember, these people that I'm interviewing, it's people that I know well, most of them. So I had a hypothesis, I had an idea, this is why they were successful. But I think the biggest takeaway from my book, from this book for me, is that I need to acknowledge my own journey and celebrate the gift that I am to my generation. I need to celebrate every place where I studied, every organization where I worked, and every audience that has welcomed my teachings and books, and everyone who gave me an opportunity to grow. So I'm the type of person, when I evaluate myself, it's easy for me to spot the negative. So sometimes I listen to my own messages in the car. And even now I'm listening to a message that I preached a couple of years back. So the message is good. I'm enjoying it. But as soon as I make, whether it's a grammar mistake or I quote something wrong, I'm like, I even speak out loud to myself, no, Mantsha, that's not right. But all the time when I was saying the good things, I was not saying, wow, that's so good. So I'm the type of person that is always holding a red pen for myself, seeing the things that are wrong. And which means if I'm always, if I have a negative disposition to my own self, it means my own life is a negative environment for growth. Have you ever had people who are saying, my organization does not support growth? My organization is a negative environment. My organization is a toxic environment. If you are in an organization which is negative, you can leave. But if you yourself have created a negative environment for yourself, the only way to leave, Pella, is to die. How are you going to leave yourself? You can't leave yourself. So many of us, especially if we have had career struggle, chances are you are like me. You are already holding a red pen for yourself, seeing the mistakes, seeing what went wrong, not able to celebrate yourself, not able to acknowledge that, guys, against all odds, I did this thing. It was not easy. I'm in an industry I don't know, but look at me, I'm thriving. I'm able to hold a conversation. Instead, if you are the type of person who's always seeing the negative things, remember, you yourself are the toxic environment. You yourself are the negative environment. You are affecting your growth negatively. You are affecting your attitude negatively. The reason why you are always tired, the reason why you look unhappy, the reason why you always feel fatigued is because you never pause to celebrate yourself. Every time when you pause, you are seeing something wrong with yourself. So for me then, I just had to say, every organization where I worked, what did I learn? Even here, when we are here on Radio Pulpit, what am I learning? And how do I appreciate how I'm showing up in the world because of everything that we are learning here? As we are discussing things, I'm becoming a better communicator. I'm becoming a better person. As I'm thinking, what are going to be my examples for today's program? I'm becoming a better teacher. As I repeat things over and over and over again, I find simpler ways to discuss complex concepts. So all of us would do well then to take some time today, take a piece of paper and write your journey so far when it comes to your career. It doesn't have to be long. For some of us, all you have done is study. After studying, maybe you volunteered, you went into an internship, you supported someone's a business, but you've never been in formal employment. But because you have never thought about where you have been in terms of your career, all the things that you learned during that journey don't show up in your CV. So now I'm at work interviewing you, and you are 33 years old, but your CV reads like you have never done anything in your life. Then I ask you how. There's no work experience on your CV. Haven't you done anything? And then when you start to explain to me what you have been doing, I'm surprised that no, actually, your uncle has a construction company. You were helping them with the books. You were not formally employed, but this is what you were doing. You helped them do a customer relationship management system. You helped them follow up on their outstanding invoices. So basically, you've done a bit of accounting. You've done a bit of financial management, but it doesn't come through in your CV. The reason why that happens is because you and I don't have a culture of documenting our stories. When we document our stories, we get an opportunity to see just how far we have come.
Tisha, thank you so much. In fact, technology, I'm busy watching you on Facebook.
These people better start tuning into 657 megahertz. See?
You know what? I'm busy watching you on Facebook as we speak. So what is also giving me ideas like, no, you guys should connect via Zoom and do this.
Yes.
Okay,
he's so right.
Definitely do it. I'm just lazy. I'm supposed to be going live on Facebook anyway. It's just like I've been dragging my feet, but we'll do it.
No, don't worry. Then I'll connect you on Zoom then.
Yes.
Then you don't have to go on live. Then you
Yeah,
just go on Zoom. That's great, actually. Yeah.
Let's do that. So then I get, do both on Facebook as well.
Yes.
So on the 657 AM Facebook page.
Oh,
I
perfect.
think I'm a bit selfish.
No, you're right.
On as many platforms as
Yes,
we can.
definitely.
So, lovely. Tisha, thank you so much for this.
Thank you so much for having me, Mpo. Thank you.
Before I let you go, how do we get a hold of you?
So on social media, I'm Mantsha Pheeha, and I'm also available on the phone 082 755 8219.
Lovely. Thank you, Tisha.
Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.